Okay, so yeah, Sean and me, we met in South Africa. It's very interesting because my best friend was getting married to his best friend. So we all went to the wedding, and he was living in New York, and I was living in Belgrade. He had a girlfriend. I was in love with some guy in Belgrade. But we met and we really liked each other. Like we were talking the whole one day, and nothing happened because we had these different lives. Like it cannot happen. Like he lives all there, I live all there. We have these other things. But then we went to Ibiza, and then yeah, we met again. And this time he had no girlfriend, I had no boyfriend. Yeah, so then we had a distant relationship. So basically, he was living in London and working there, and I had like really good job in Belgrade, living with my very good friends in apartment, having a car. My life was so organized in Belgrade. But then I fell in love with someone who is not there. It was like, oh, what do I do now? So basically, we were flying every second weekend. We were spending weekend in London, weekend in Belgrade, weekend in London, weekend in Belgrade, because we really fell in love quite fast. And the only logical thing was for me to move to London because, yeah, he didn't speak language. We had no idea of this, nothing. Like we have no vision. The only thing was that I should go and live in London, and it's logical. Everybody wants to leave Serbia. Everybody wants to go to this more developed world, have more money, have better jobs. So it was so like normal that I will go to London. So then I entered master degree, and it was in sustainability and environment because that's my passion. And I was so close to do business studies because I already had certain curriculum, and if I did business studies, I would really improve it in some direction of like, oh, it's a good CV. This is like, wow, this is a good CV. But then Sean was like, what do you love to do? I'm like, yeah, I love environment. I'm like all about this environmental science. He's like, but then study that. And then we went much deeper with reading these books about sustainability and how really the planet will change quite soon in a not nice direction because there is so many problems. I was doing school, he was working, so we would see each other at like 7 p.m. So we get like 3-4 hours before bed to be together, and that's like, like we really wanted to be together. Yeah, then my dad passed away, and that was a big thing for me because I was really my dad's daughter. I was so close to him, my best friend, and everything. And yeah, that also shake me up in the sense that you realize life is short, and if you have certain vision and ideas, and if you believe in something, you should actually do it. So then basically we were starting to like think to change our life, and change towards what? The idea was that we want to spend more time together. So we don't want to see each other at 7 p.m. every day. We were like, and we also realized that we love to work together. We were really good at just clicking together in some. We did 2 projects together. It was so good results, and so then we wanted to do that, and we also wanted to have more time for our family, children that would come one day, and we wanted to actually try to do what we are passionate about. So not to make money only, but we want, as before, we were like, have jobs that provide our living. We wanted to do something that we believe in and something that we are good at and something that we really enjoy doing. That was the point. So somehow it was coming along that we should leave London and go and live somewhere in the nature. And so then we told our parents, and they like got shocked. They couldn't believe what they're listening. They were like expecting us to get more mature, serious about life and more money, have some plan about having the family because then you need more money and so on, all about money. And then everybody was betting when we are coming back because they're like, there's no way we'll survive in jungle for 3 months. We're coming back after 1 month, We'll be running back to city saying, I love you, city. I'll never leave you again. And so that was the expectations, So we packed all our backpacks and we brought 9 liters of rakia too. For 3 months travel, we brought 9 liters of rakia. We were like carrying this heavy rakia all over Costa Rica. And everybody loved it, and it saved us. It was our disinfection. Every day we had a little sip, and we really didn't get sick the whole trip. We met children who were raised in a different way. We loved them. We learned about ourselves, that we were actually trying to have these weird experiences. Like this nature was healing us. We were having emotional, especially me because my dad passed recently. So then we came back and we are like, okay, we are changing our life. And we didn't know how, you know, we are like, how are we going to go now to some Serbia? Sean still doesn't know language. We don't want to live in Belgrade. He cannot even find a job in Belgrade. What do we do? And we decided that we will take our savings that will last us for 1 year to live in Serbia until we see what happens. Something happens, and then we continue that direction, you know. And that is what happened. Like, and it was so difficult, you know. It was so scary to change everything. You know, someday Sean comes from job, he's like, this is too tough. How will I handle not going to office every day? How? I'm like, you can do it, you can do it. And the next day I freak out. I'm like, but what will we do in Serbia? He's like, we can do it, we can do it. Then somehow when he had crisis, I was up. And when I had crisis, he was supporting. So we did it, you know, we jumped. He resigned his job. There's so much beautiful nature in Serbia. Most of it is abandoned. And then when you just search, it's very difficult. You're like, why is this place better than that? This one has advantages and disadvantages, but this one also has advantages and disadvantages, you know? How do you pick and choose? We realize that I'm pregnant, the baby's coming. How can we just build a house from nothing while living in the trailer, you know? It was really not a good idea. Meanwhile, while we were searching for this ideal place in Serbia where we should live, we were actually living in this old house in Dubona, right here. And we were really loving it, you know? But somehow we didn't see that as an option we can be here. This was just for us to feel the nature, practice the nature while we are searching for this perfect location. Somehow it just came to me like, why don't we stay in Dubona, you know? Like, we have electricity, water, already a house. We can go there with a baby. We have these people that we know because my ancestors lived here, so everybody knows us. Then my grandmother, who was born in this house, she was really happy because she's like, hey, the house will continue living, you know? People think that people who still live in the villages, they just do it because they don't have any other option. So now when we come, we are stating very openly we want this. We have options for something else, but we actually want this. And I think it's a nice statement. It feels good to most of these people around, so I think they really accepted us in a nice way. And because the thing is, today everybody tells you need to have this idea. You need to have business plan, yeah? You need to have all the stages figured out. You need to have a calculated sheet about the costs and expenses and time frame and expectations. But it doesn't work like that with visions. With vision, with inspiration, it's actually like this, and then all of a sudden, you get a vision. You go one step higher. Then, you get another vision, you know? It's a chain of thoughts that never give you a room to just like feel the beautiful moment, you know? To like look around and just breathe and smell. There's so many beautiful flowers. There's so many, like this wind brings us all this pollen and these beautiful aromas that come off all this green stuff around us. It's amazing, you know, but if you're not present right now, if you don't stop and take the time to feel it, you will never know that that exists, yeah? I mean, for me, really, the real sustainability, the real environmental change is to teach little children, just to let them understand that they are part of the nature. Because when you live in the city, you can really live thinking that there's just all these objects around you, and that's it. And there is money that allows you to have more or less objects. That's it. But when you're here, you really see what is food, where it comes from, what food needs, you know. This tree needs good soil, this tree needs sun, this tree needs water, this tree can be killed by the storm. You know, you can really understand what is what. And yeah, I really believe that's the only way to give love to children and allow them to be loving, more emotional, more loving creatures that are going to care.